Hello there, folks. How you doing? It's Jeff C. coming to you with the latest on the Boston Marathon conspiracy. Yes, indeed, it is a conspiracy, a full-fledged one. You thought you had your fill with Sandy Hook? Or Aurora? Or Richard Christopher Droner? Nah, man, the New World Order's always got something new up their sleeve. And it's pretty hard to keep up with them. But a lot of people working hard. And hats off to them. Let's start with one of the more compelling pieces of evidence that I've seen to prove that this is indeed a hoax. And there's a lot of proof out there, so I won't be able to cover it all. I'll miss a bunch of things. Other people could fill in, but you know how it works. We all kind of try and help move it along a little. So this dude here, have F8, he's got a really good video here. I'm going to put it up on the big screen to show you the cowboy, El Cowboy here, with his compadre there, the wheelchair dude, right? The guy with his legs blown off, supposedly. So, we're gonna get to that right now. Let's take a look at it. So this is him coming through here. This is the Jeff guy who had his legs blown off. I believe his name was Jeff. Unfortunate fella. And he's got the cowboy guy with him and another person running alongside. And
I'm going to enlarge the print so you can see it clear. Here they come. Boom. Okay, I'm going to pause it. Play. Pause it. Here comes that guy right here in the yellow. You see him right here. Watch careful. Now, he stops Carlos from running, and he gets in front of him, stops the wheelchair. Look how normal that this guy looks. Now, watch him. He's adjusting his prosthetic leg right here. Watch. Now, I'm going to zoom in right here. Watch careful. I'm going to move this down to that point. And we're going to enlarge that point here in just a second so you can clearly see it. He's adjusting something there. The question is what? Why would he be adjusting anything there? Watch him. He gets down and he lifts something up on his leg.
ain't no doubt.
And are you serious? He dropped the prosthetic leg. It came off of his body. Now he's picking it up and readjusting it on his body. Y'all see that? Look careful. I'll zoom in closer. This is off the chart stuff, guys. Watch. And then he gets out of the screen. And the guy just stays there this whole time. This double amputee guy that they claimed, but whatever he did, he picked up something. And something had fell off, and now he's trying to make sure he holds it, and then he holds it in place as he's running down the street to an ambulance. Now, why wouldn't an ambulance go to that spot right there and pick him up? Why would they have to?
Because they need a photo op.
A wheelchair all the way down the street to go to an ambulance. So this shows you here that this is clearly something very wrong with this picture here.
Indeed.
So, I want you to pay very close attention again. I'm going to back it up and let you see that again. So watch careful. Okay, here they come. And there, you see it? And there they go.
Absolutely.
Wow. I'm going to make sure you see that again, and this time I'm going to slow the film down, the duration of the film, so you can see it's a lot slower. You'll see him when he picks it up. He comes, he sees something wrong, he runs out in front of him, and then he stops him from going.
Stop.
He stops him from going, and then
Gotta fix it.
He fixed something up.
He's red-handed.
Onto his leg.
Awesome.
Right there. See that right there?
Great find.
He picked his leg up and then he adjusted it back on him.
No
and
doubt.
the guy was even sitting there looking at him what he's doing. This is crazy, crazy stuff, guys. Wow. Now, this other thing that I'm going to show you is quite interesting. So give me just a minute. And ladies and gentlemen, and here again, this is more evidence to show you that...
All right. So, we look at all the photos. I mean, people have been looking at the photos like all over, man. There's so much stuff. So I don't want to rehash too much. I think most of you can see the fake blood bottle down here. There's better resolution. Of course, this guy with the sunglasses is a major actor involved in all this. I just wanted to show this picture because of the cowboy guy here, who's clearly on the side of the fence and is getting ready to move into action. See somebody here reaching for somebody's backpack. I mean, you could look through all these photos, probably find a million different things. One thing that I found in like photos like this is the colors, because I know that when we were doing Sandy Hook, and I saw a lot of stuff. I went a little bit crazy with it and was absorbing a lot of information. One of the things that I absorbed was that the FEMA type drills, all the drills, DHS drills, they all have colors, so people know where to go and who's who, sort of thing. So a photo like this, I noticed a lot of the colors, the white with the red caps. The police, of course, the people in yellow, the people in red, right? And then there's people in blue. And then the cowboy, of course, right there. Still hasn't moved into action to do anything for that dude. And that is how they do it when it comes to these drills. Everybody's got a color. Now, there are going to be obviously different groups here and stuff because it's a marathon, but there's a significantly large amount of groups that, we're seeing. Here's a good photo here. This is what I was trying to find. These guys, of course, are the craft guys. They're the guys wearing the Punisher caps and had the backpacks that looked identical to the backpack that exploded. And you see them around. There's another one there. This guy has tan pants as well. This girl, she has tan pants, but hey, you didn't get the black coat because you're gonna get the red hat girl. But anyways, and another thing I noticed was the wheelchairs seemed like they were just handy to be there. Of course, it is a marathon, so maybe they have a few wheelchairs on hand just in case somebody collapses. But they had a lot of them. And the red flag, or the red flag with the white cross on it. I don't know, it could just be emergency, who knows, right? But to me, these big pictures, these high resolution ones, there's a lot of cool stuff that you can see on them. So, let me get to some of the internet stuff here. Looking up the FEMA website, one of the things that I checked out was how they conduct their drills. And as a curiosity, I put in Boston. And right away, instead of going through this whole hogwash of, security orders, engagement partnership, and all that, you get to Boston. So let me get to what they say here in this section with the headline, Unity of Effort Through Unified Command, Best Practice Number 1. In Boston, planned events can attract crowds of 1 million or more participants and spectators, providing an optimal environment to test and improve disaster plans. Medical planners, led by Boston Emergency Medical Services, began treating special events as planned disasters during preparations for events such as the Boston Marathon. There you go, folks. It's right there. Agencies and organizations involved adopted the incident command system, conducted planning and operations using unified command and integrated aspects of the region's disaster plans for the event's operation plan. So this is a monsterly huge document here, right? But the fact that they're mentioning the Boston Marathon as the perfect event to carry out one of these disaster scenarios, just a little bit suspicious, you know, just a little bit, you know. Of course, if you're drinking the mainstream fucking crap, then you're probably not going to be suspicious of much at all. So one of the things that was pointed out when I was talking about the colors, you know, the colors here, the colors there, the blue, the white, the red, the black water. Gotta have the black water, right? The black water, who of course are connected to this whole thing through the craft, right? Craft, right? So this is the military-industrial complex. This is, we talked about craft the other night, who are now owned by, I want to say Blackwater is now owned by Monsanto, who had a lawsuit against a fertilizer plant that was like blown from the face of the earth practically, with a very powerful missile, or at least an explosion. Who knows, right? Kind of suspicious. All this stuff going on. And these guys were all over, of course. That was the smaller of the photo I showed you. You can see 6 of them here. Or no, 7 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 there. And they're all in their black and tan. There, of course, they have their earpieces. Right? So you might be like, well, what's the big deal? What are Blackwater? What do they do, right? Well, they do a lot of war. A lot of war. Like the Iraq War. Remember that war? They do the Afghan War. Right? So, I won't click on her. They might take my video down. Blackwater, now owned by Monsanto. And if they're somehow involved in this, which it looks like, right? This is all the connections that they have, you know. This is how they work these things. This is how they do them. Of course, the backpack. It's so hard for me to do this and, you know, be afraid to one hand to leave stuff out, but also I don't want to be repeating myself, you know, over and over again over stuff that we've already shown. But then again, some people, they're just clicking on for the first time, so bear with me. What did our dear leader Kim Jong-un, what did he have to say? Well, let's check it out here. Pyongyang, April 20th. Here's the quote from our dear leader, or at least his government. The U.S. internet newspaper WorldNet Daily, speaking for U.S. conservative forces, recently released a false story linking the bomb explosion during the Boston Marathon to the Democratic People's Republic of North Korea, right? It reported the misinformation that the DPRK used such an agent as Al-Qaeda for attacking the United States. The DPRK, pardon me, categorically dismisses the ruckus and the DPRK categorically dismisses this anti-DPRK ruckus made by the conservative daily, bereft of any elementary appearance as a medium, as a false propaganda which does not deserve a passing note. So they don't buy it for 1 second either. Boston Marathon bombing conspiracy. Attack was a U.S. false flag, says Florida professor. I think we know this professor. Yes, it's James Tracy. Right? It was only a matter of time. Conservative teapot of simmering rage, Glenn Beck began spouting off conspiracy theories about a third suspect in the Boston Marathon bombings and a U.S. cover-up earlier this week, and now a Florida professor is suggesting the attacks were a false flag operation perpetrated by the American government. Florida Atlantic University professor James Tracy first became something of a conspiracy theorist celebrity in December of last year when he started popularizing the idea that the massacre at Sandy Hook Elementary in Newton, Connecticut, which took the lives of 20 children and 6 adults, as we were led to believe in the story tale, was a government hoax hoping to catalyze the liberal gun control lobby in Congress. Tracy's comments who drew the ire. Whoa, what happened there? Well, anyways, this page just wants to fuck up on me. Anyways, I think I got to what I wanted to say there about it. This dude is one of the guys. He was the guy that came out for Sandy Hook and said it was a hoax pretty early, and good on him. He teaches conspiracy theories, so he knows about them. So people are starting to listen, hopefully. Now let me get to, where was it? Yeah. The two blast. So I'm on a page here that is One Truth for Life. Check this guy out. He's got a great video here dealing with Seth MacFarlane, I believe his name is. This dude had hit both his television shows within the last 3 weeks. Show 2 bombs going off. I believe he's a Boston boy too. Check it out.
Guy and co-creator of American Dad apparently has an amazing ability which, to my knowledge, has yet to be questioned by law enforcement agencies or brought into a scrutinizing context by mainstream media. Does he have a talent for identifying tragic occurrences before they materialize in the real world? Or is this just another random coincidence? Well, here for your consideration is a portion of an episode of American Dad. This is Season 8, Episode 15, entitled The Missing Link. Here, the character Snot is talking with Haley.
I gotta be honest with you, Snot. I wasn't really looking forward to this night, but I had a blast.
Well, call the bomb squad, because with the blast I had, that makes 2 blasts.
Less than 24 hours later, 2 blasts rocked the Boston Marathon. The city of Boston went on lockdown and martial law was instituted, with the Family Guy detonating 2 bombs 3 weeks prior to the Boston Marathon.
Your phone's busted. Maybe I dialed wrong.
An American Dad injecting the idea of 2 blasts into the consciousness of checked-out Americans less than 24 hours before the Boston Marathon.
Well, call the bomb squad, because with the blast I had, that makes 2 blasts.
One can't help but wonder if MacFarlane has a knack for foretelling future events, is a lucky guesser, or a New World Order insider.
New World Order insider. Let her see. Yes, he's one of these guys, no doubt about it. And that's how they do it, you know. They love it. They like to put it in your face. They also it's also a form of conditioning because you know, I feel like I sound like a broken record here because it's like this is how they do it. I mean, every time there's something, we had Sandy Hook, we had all the Sandy Hook stuff that came out, the Batman map, the movie review, all this crazy stuff, the false call-ins for the Coast Guard, all this stuff coming in, right? Leading up to it. And this is what when we talk about monarch programming, right? Of course, their programming has gone well beyond that, but the idea of monarch programming is being able to use television and stuff like that, images, plant things into your brain so that when they come up the third or fourth time, they're there, and you already have this predisposed fear of it, this predisposed. You know, it's an unconscious thing almost. If you're drinking the mainstream crap that's on television every night, you're taking it in, you're eating the food, and you're pleasantly brainwashed. This stuff works on you. It doesn't work on me, obviously. It doesn't work on the crew from Free Radio Revolution, and most of our listeners will tell you that. But it works on everybody else, it seems, and this guy shouldn't get away with this shit, you know? It's pretty fucking evil, isn't it? So, here's some photos of a bomb blast victim. She had her leg, her lower leg was blown off there, and she looks pretty happy. Wow, got a big smile. She got her new leg. She looks happy. So there's all these photos of her smiling. And so this dude here, who is Chris Spivey, check out his page for sure. And he's got photos of people who really had their legs blasted off, and they don't look so happy. You know, it's again the same kind of circus that we've seen before with Sandy Hook. It's all too familiar for us who have we've been down this road a few too many times now. How they use these images, you know, use these people. So maybe some of you have seen this. Has gone around. It's the video is going to show you how they train military and medics and stuff to deal with real wartime situation stuff. This bloody thing will play. You two must cooperate. Alright, so I'm going to try and get ahead here.
They're amputees doing work only they can do, training men and women in uniform. Here's our Poppy Harlow.
On this simulated battlefield, it's hard to determine what's real and what's not.
We call it hyper-realistic.
Kit Lavelle served in Vietnam and now runs Strategic Operations, a movie set turned training ground, preparing thousands of U.S. servicemen and women for combat.
Individuals who are going through the training here are not expecting to see an amputee. So the shock effect of seeing that happen is priceless.
The action is fake, but the amputees are real. They're actors with a unique perspective on what others would consider a disability.
It's more of a gift. I need to share it with people. You think this is a gift? It is a gift.
Heather Morales lost her right leg to cancer when she was just 8.
Yeah, just, you can come up. I just wanted
Ted and June DiStefano both lost their left leg in a tragic accident.
A car came around the corner too fast and hit us. It's a trauma that's been changed, that can change other people's lives as well as my own. It's become an asset.
I went through similar training here recently, and it's as real as it gets. It's preparation that we do as journalists before we go into a hostile environment. And when I was working myself on these amputee actors, it's what made me really want to tell their story.
And well, I've met people that have already...
So you can see that. I mean, the media is being trained at the same time as the military. You know, they're all in bed together. They're all fucking licking each other's asses. That's how they do it. I mean, do you want more proof about the media and how they fucking lie to you every single motherfucking day? Pardon my French. Here's the Daily News. They doctored their front page photo from the Boston bombing. Here's the original photo. There's the fake blood. Here's the doctored photo. Gotta sell papers, you know. Gotta sell papers, so that's what they do. Not everybody is, you know, not buying this fucking story. I'll tell you that. A lot of people aren't. Here is a state representative from New Hampshire. Stella Tremblay has recently suggested that the Boston bombings could be a black ops government job, and says that people should think for themselves in coming to conclusions. Here's her quote. The Boston Marathon was a black ops terrorist attack, Tremblay wrote in a message to conservative commentator Glenn Beck. One suspect killed, the other one will be too before they even have a chance to speak. Drones and now terrorist attacks by our government. Sad day, but wake up to all of us. So this stupid thing's acting up. That's going on there. Some people are standing up and calling a spade a spade. People have gone through this. I hope you guys have seen the sequence of images here with the hooded guy applying the fake legs to our favorite wheelchair dude. There's a lot of photos here. This one here where he's got the black woman there too, and he's putting on his sunglasses. Anyways, other people have gone through that. Carlos Arredondo. Well, Carlos, could you be the Gene Rosen of the Boston Marathon? I don't know, man. It's a tough act to follow. It's a tough act, dude. But you seem up to it. Carlos starts to tremble here quite some.
I mean, free offerings everywhere. Everywhere. I mean, you see, and what happened is the device, the IED, it went down to the ground and up. The gentleman that I helped, and I concentrated working with him by doing a couple pieces of picture that I did properly on the legs. He had a big fire going on with his shirt. So whatever was in that IED was to make as much damage, you know, in they accomplished that. Because the second bomb, not too far away, maybe to the corner, not too far it happened. I didn't witness anything there because so much was happening on that particular site. And I just concentrated on that young man and tied him up legs and talked to him. He was conscious. I let him know the ambulance is on the way, that he's okay. Nothing happened to him. He's okay. You okay? Wait, stay with me, stay with me. And then I managed to take him all the way to the ambulance. Okay. You know, recovered. Yeah, I escorted him out. Because was so many people, and I don't lay next to begging me for help. I only can help one at a time. So I just helped that young man. He told me the name, I forgot the name. He was unconscious. I was with a couple of young ladies who was totally gone. They was right in the front row of this cooking place.
Where'd you get the flag from? Flag?
And then the flag, I was handing them out. And this one is one of the flags.
Nice photo off there.
But like I said, I was across the street. You know, the device of explosion, they put it right there to do damage to the inside. Because when this went off here, they broke all the windows behind you. All those windows was blowing apart.
Just right after the finish line, too? Right after the finish line?
You know the flags? You ever see the flags? How they put
those big flags, yeah.
This is the end, right?
Yeah.
That's the end. So from the end here, all the way to the next block, each country has a flag.
Yeah.
All the flags was gone. All gone. I gotta go home.
Okay, where's
Rosendale. Rosendale, sorry.
How do you get there?
I gotta go maybe like 2 blocks, quarter mile, to get the Orange Line train.
Okay, Orange Line. It's open?
I have no idea. But also they might be passing people because they don't want none of what's happening inside the train.
Right, on the, like,
yeah.
Do you mind if I pick up the flag?
Yeah. I want to give you my car, okay?
So, why does he have a bloody little flag? Why is he carrying it around? You know? Why is he carrying it around? I don't know. I apologize to Paul. He was right when he started bringing up the Chechen connection to all this. There is something to it, and I apologize, Paul. I'm sorry. I was too focused on what was a more immediate stake in our own backyard, and we had frickin' bombs, fake bombs being spotted in Montreal in the metro and Fairview Shopping Mall and train. Anyways, Sybil Edmonds, who worked with the FBI, she was a translator, so she got into the FBI kind of deeply and saw their nasty ways, and eventually retired and went into exposing this crap. And so what she put up just the other day on her post here, don't let the media fool you again, right? Climb up the chain and meet the real masterminds of global terror. Here we go again, deja vu. Out of the blue we have a terror event, a couple of pop terrorists, and a new buzzword nation, Chechnya. There they go again. USA media tales made in government, Muslims, terrorists, fanatics, freedom haters. This time from another exotic-sounding land, Chechnya. They're going to tell you about new frontiers in the so-called Islamic terrorist cells, the Caucasus, right, and Central Asia. They've been planning this attack for a long time. In fact, the plans were in motion in the early mid-1990s, right? So they've been planning these attacks. They've been planning to have this sort of terrorist thing created up in the Caucasian area, in Chechnya. So this was planned before. And in the U.S., this is from an article she wrote in late 2011. In the U.S., the leading group which pleads the Chechnyan cause, or the Chechen cause, is the American Committee for Peace in Chechnya, the ACPC. The list of self-styled for the most prominent neoconservatives who enthusiastically support the war on terror. So listen to the cast of characters they've got here Richard Pearl, right? The Black Pearl, or whatever they call him, Pentagon dude. Elliot Abrams of the Iran-Contra fame. Kenneth Adelman, former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, who egged on the invasion of Iraq and predicted it would be a cakewalk. Right, so you got these guys linked to Donald Rumsfeld, Frank Gaffney, Bruce Jackson, Michael Ladine, and James Woosley. And I've been staring at a screen for a few hours, so my eyes are tired. That's why I'm kind of messing up a little bit reading here. So this group, though, if you think of it like this, these are all Bilderberg type guys. They're all high up in the American administration, and they're creating this terror network now, perhaps to try to, Chechnya is a place where there's a lot of friction. The Chechens want to separate from Russia, or a lot of them do, and it's nothing better than for superpowers to make their superpowers suffer. The enemy of your enemy is your friend kind of thing, right? So they're trying to create some sort of tension in that area and use it for their own. I'm going to have to look into this a lot because I haven't had a chance to really look into it, but it's amazing how many things can be carried out in one thing. Here we have the law enforcement agency might have known about Boston bombing in advance.
There now appears that there may have been some evidence that was obtained by one of the law enforcement agencies that did not get shared in a way that it should have been. If that turns out to be the case, then we have to determine whether or not that would have made a difference.
New today, we learned 50 people are still in the hospital in the Boston area. Some of them are now without limbs. The attack killed 3 people.
Yeah, so there's a lot of questions. Even these high up officials are questioning. I'll go through here what Joe Biden said the other day, maybe today or yesterday. At the memorial for the MIT officer.
Like my colleagues, almost every day since 9/11. Why? 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 This terrorist phenomenon of the the beginning of the 21st century.
Yeah, seriously, why? I mean, he knows, right? He does know, because he's part of the cabal that are creating this terror.
Why? People say to me, for they surely know they can never defeat us. They can never overthrow us. They can never occupy us. So why? Why? Whether it's Al-Qaeda's central out of the Fatah or 2 twisted, perverted, cowardly knockoff jihadis.
2 twisted, perverted, cowardly knockoff jihadists. It's quite a fucking mouthful, and hey man, I mean, if Joe Biden knows so well, I mean, he's the judge and jury for these guys. I mean, these guys never had a frickin' trial. We haven't seen one shred of evidence that would link these guys to it, other than the fact that they appeared to be at this event, which millions of other people apparently were at as well. So we see nothing, no video, no hard proof that these guys planted anything. And as I'm going to show you, there's come forth some evidence right now, very strong evidence, to say that the Joker. You mind if I call him Joker? No, it's not. That wouldn't be fair to his friends and family. If this guy has died, Joker, right? But can't help but think Joker. And that's all part of the fun name game that they play and how they love their words and colors and titles and things. And so let's listen to more of what he's got to say here.
Here in Boston, why do they do what they do? I've thought about it a lot because I deal with it a lot.
He's thought about it a lot because he deals with it a lot. So, Mr. Biden, yeah, you do deal with it, Mr. New World Order. And so you have thought about it a lot. So let's hear what your conclusion for the corporate media is.
Which is not unique to me, but they do it to instill fear.
Yes, you do it to instill fear.
In the name of our safety and security, jettison what we value most and the world most values about us. Our open society.
Yeah, exactly. It's like doublespeak. It's this is Orwellian. He's telling you that they think that they can do this and take away your freedoms. But what is really being said is that we're doing this and we're taking away your freedoms. I mean, we're just going to take them. And we're going to keep doing this. I mean, we did it, right? And we're going to take it.
Our system of justice that guarantees freedom.
Yeah, National Defense Authorization Act.
The access of all Americans to opportunity, the free flow of information and people across this country, our transparency. That's their target. It infuriates them that we refuse to bend, refuse to change, refuse to yield to fear. The doctrine of hate and oppression, they've found out, cannot compete with the values of openness and inclusiveness. And that's why they're losing around the world. The irony is, we read about these events, we experience them, but the truth is, on every frontier, terrorism as a weapon is losing. It is not gaining adherence. And what galls them the most is America does remain that shining city on the hill. We're a symbol of the hopes and dreams of the very aspirations of people all around the world. People who live where they thrive. Our very existence makes a lie.
Oh, apologies for that. Yeah, that's just ridiculous, isn't it? That's exactly what they're doing. They're telling you that they're you know, that these events are being committed by enemies who want to destroy your freedom. They are. They're being committed by the government. The shadow elite government. That's who's committing these acts. They have the power, they have the wherewithal, and they own the media. They own the corporate media. I mean, that's the big problem, isn't it? It's why we're having so much trouble waking up the sheeple when everybody's drinking the Kool-Aid.
I don't know. What do y'all think?
The naked dude.
It's the best picture I got. But my opinion,
Yeah, they match for me. I'll make a special.
Right, welcome. This is me. I'm Mark McGowan, the artist taxi driver, and this, my friends, is the BBC Sucks a Cox News. Where's Daddy's Pig special?
I love the artist taxi driver. Before I get to him, I'll save him. I wanted to get to Joe Carr here. This has been confirmed by a few people over the internet that this photo has been photoshopped and that something has been taken out.
Did it down in Jacksonville, but the famous photograph of the second suspect, I forget how to pronounce his name, but he's a younger 19-year-old kid. He's down on a street corner, and the bombing, the finish line rather, is about probably 50 to 100 yards further down the street, and this particular runner named Dr. David Green snapped a photograph, which is fine. I mean, I don't think anything was stated that he actually snapped a photograph. If you look and you zoom in about 500%, you will see an obvious white box. Basically, this is the corner of the backpack the kid was carrying. When the FBI released the video of the two suspects, the two brothers, the kid had the backpack on his right shoulder. And just like what I would do, I would switch off because your shoulder gets kind of tired. One thing to understand is whenever somebody is in an event or their life threat, that kind of thing, they always put things on their left shoulder. They always block a blow with the left hand. This is a very common thing. You can ask any police officer. It's considered common. So the likelihood of this kid having the backpack on his left side is probably pretty high. And one of the things I was concerned about when I looked at the photograph is the distance between his back and where the edge of the backpack was.
So anyways, I was trying to find the video that gets in close and shows it. I don't know if this was particularly the one, but there's a lot of stuff on here that a lot of people have shown that when you zoom in, you can see a perfect line coming out here, like a box that they've altered, and that his arm has been extended. So that's another pretty compelling piece of evidence. Even Lindsey Graham says there's something not right here. You know, even one of the three amigos of war here, you know.
Pick up the fact that he had already been in the system, so there's a lot to answer here.
Well, Senator Grant, do we know that it didn't? Because that was one of my big questions this morning.
I don't know.
Do we know? Perhaps it did. Perhaps facial recognition, maybe at the FBI, the second they saw that photograph and before it was released to us, maybe they were already onto him. Do we know?
Well, why would you put his photo out saying, do you know? No, I don't buy that. I mean, when they were asked by CBS and Fox, the FBI, after the attack, have you ever had any contact with either one of the brothers, they said no. It was only after the mother's interview where she talked about the FBI following the older son, did they tell us that they had him in the system. Something's not right here. I don't want to be judgmental, but I want to make sure that we're safe.
Yeah.
Between Benghazi and Boston, we're going backward in national security. This administration is letting its guard down, and it is beginning to show.
Is that what it is?
So, you know, he doesn't buy the story quite either, but his solution is more security, I guess, So, oh, Chunky Mark. Where was he? Mr. Artist Taxi Driver did his march with the pig today. Let me just go to his channel so I can show you one of the earlier videos. And this dude was protesting the privatization of the NHS. I think it's part of National Hospital in the Great Britain. So he did a protest where he was going to push the pig all the way down, several blocks, all the way up to Downing Street, 10 Downing Street. So he did it. He went all the way down. At one point, these guys came out to sing for him, which was really nice. And then he eventually made it all the way to 10 Downing, where he brought his protest letter to the Prime Minister's house. And
this is me, the artist taxi driver, stumbling in my words, finished, knees broken, of my letter to David Cameron and his government about the privatisation of the NHS, about they wouldn't let me push my pig up the road. I've had to leave it at the gate because of the abusive references, and also they just didn't like the pig at all. But over there is the government, and their primary purpose is to move public money into private pockets. Jeremy Hunt, in charge of the NHS, doing an auction, palliative care of dying children, children with severe disabilities, people with cancer, everything in the NHS is going. It's up for sale. The NHS is for sale. They've got today in the House of Lords debating Section 75, opening up the entire NHS for private tender. I'm going over to deliver my letter, my petition. It's been signed by my children. Here we go. Okay. Just going to give the door a little knock. Oh, sorry. It was already there. Sorry about that. Was that a bit loud? This is a letter for David Cameron and his government. It's about the privatisation of the NHS. I'm sure you're worried about it, and your family and your children. Today, Section 75, opening up the entire NHS to private tender. Jeremy Hunt, an auctioneer, is now he's selling off parts of the NHS, hospitals, units, selling palliative care of dying children to Richard Branson. And I've delivered my letter. Thank you very much. Right then. They've been told. They've been warned. They know. Everyone knows now.
That is awesome. You know, he didn't have any of the big media show up, but this dude is getting a big following and he deserves it. He has an amazing show, the BBC Suxocox News. It's absolutely hilarious. I definitely recommend you guys check him out. And then what I wanted to finish on was this dude. I happened to be looking up Boston stuff and I came across him. He does a great video on the nature of conspiracy, in which he breaks down conspiracy because he worked in the banking system. And he was talking about how, you know, that even in the smaller system of the corporate world, you have these, you know, divide and conquer tactics, and it's in the state's best interest to keep the people divided constantly, keep throwing things at them. So I'll play a little bit about this.
Basically, by influencing and authorizing a terrorist act, the controlling body will be able to seize control of the situation once the chaos is dissipated, because they will be prepared to do so. And all this takes, it's not a complicated web of tie-ins and etc. All this takes is the power to influence someone who is already weak-minded and easily influenced. Say you have a Chechnyan immigrant who immigrated here when he was very young, right? You have maybe a 26-year-old, 29-year-old immigrant. And he's now starting to become disenfranchised, you can tell, because of the data that you're collecting from his computer. And he is looking into more extremist forms of religion, etc. So what do? You can send him some information that will influence him to behave in a certain way.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? So once he starts exhibiting the behaviors that you want, you're still collecting data, so you know all his moves. You understand? You know what's going to happen next, assuming you are tracking this person closely and you are the one influencing his behavior. Once you do that, and the terrorist action is complete, there has been chaos, and a few civilians have died. It's like pressing the reset button, because civilians are confused and they feel powerless. The level of morale drops. These are all the benefits of instigating a terrorist action, and in doing so, you effectively gain control again. You take control of the reins with even more force and even more vigor, and you are in effect stronger because you have been able to control the chaos. I hope that made sense.
Absolutely, dude.
These kinds of ideas are pretty obvious, and through talking to people, I've realized that, like people like in my own family, like my own parents and stuff, I realized that they don't understand this. They don't understand these basic ideas about
I feel your pain, buddy.
Managing crowds in general and managing large groups of people. The thing to me is that we've had presidents such as JFK. JFK stepped forward and said, I'm trying to control secret societies. I'm trying to control the CIA, but I can only do so much because I'm not the main guy in charge. JFK said that in his speech. He said it in plain fucking English. You have to be really stupid not to understand that from what he said. So, again, this is just my opinion, etc., but it's not just my opinion, right? I'm saying this as if this is the reality of the situation, because to me, in my mind, it is the reality of the situation, and I don't understand how you cannot fucking get this if you are, like, just extremely dense and thick-headed. But,
you've had too much glucose fructose, as we like to say. Great video. Go check them out. Tech Riot. And that's pretty much what I wanted to say tonight. We were here, and now we're here. Well, maybe we're getting further away from the bomb blast. Anyways, I didn't want to go on about Boston too long. I just want to get it off my chest and look at it. So I believe this thing's a hoax and it's a big setup, and I think you'll see a ton of evidence come forth. I think a lot of the victims will be analyzed like the Sandy Hook victims. There's a lot more photos of this. There was a lot more cameras flashing and a lot more cameras that couldn't be controlled. So hopefully a lot more stuff comes out. I think we got to give credit to all the people that were quick on it, including our crew who called it the first night. Hopefully this is the straw that breaks the camel's back, and that the sheep will awaken and realize that they're being misled, they're being herded, they're being manipulated at every fucking turn. And if they don't wake up soon to realize that the state is behind almost all of these attacks, especially 9/11, then they're not going to have any rights left pretty soon. Only thing that we can do, the only thing that our crew can do is just try to get people to talk about it, get it out there, plant a seed. Little by little you can win people over and wake them up, because we're losing this battle right now. Maybe there's some victories that are happening here and there. Maybe just the slow awakening is a victory itself, but the fact that they're able to pull this shit off, and fool the sheeple again and again and again. It's not criminal, it's just outright dangerous. It is, well, it's very criminal. So we gotta wake people up, and I hope you all got something out of it. I'm really tired, so I'm gonna let it end here. It'll end it on a bloody note. That blood bottle. And there's many more photos. So if you guys want to dig into it more, please do. All the best.